So let's try and get more perspective on what exactly unfolded. It's absolutely shocking, and we hope that some immediate action will be taken, that this does not escalate further in the Poonch area. Joining me now is our defense expert, a veteran, Major General Sanjay Meston. Good morning, sir. What my first question... Yes, sir. Sir, my first question is about how I'm noticing these escalated activities in the Rajouri Poonch area, not as much in the Kashmir Valley, that has seen this conflict for decades now. Do you think this is a change strategy to now create trouble in the Rajouri Poonch area as well, that borders Pakistan?
Pooja, firstly, we are very clear that Pakistan is totally obsessed with Kashmir, and therefore, since we are going to have this G20 tourism conference in Kashmir, so their intent is to create this internationalize the issue by such incidents. So keeping their aim in mind, my analysis is that any part of J&K they would like to target, and therefore earlier their focus has been in the Kashmir Valley, but now the focus is also shifting in the south of Pir Panjal and including Jammu.
Yes.
And not only that, there have been some isolated incidents in Punjab. So therefore the Pakistan strategy is in the entire western border, especially in the area of Jammu and Kashmir and Pakistan and Punjab. Their focus is on terrorism, linked simultaneously to drugs activity, and therefore this is giving them a lot of impetus to carry on such activities. So, and if you see the recent trend, every 3 months south of Pir Panjal, some small activity has been going on, so there has been some change in the trend. Overall, if you see, the infiltration in the last many years has declined rapidly. But despite that, you know, some homegrown support and obviously the external support in terms of finance and terrorists is always there. So this is giving impetus to all the terrorist activity. But now I foresee that in south of Pir Panjal also, especially in the area of Poonch, Rajouri, where I have also served,
yes,
the activities may get enhanced. Yeah.
Major General, what would you advise as a veteran, as someone who has experience of that area? Because there are massive forests around. There is the suspicion of overground workers in that area who would be helping and aiding these terrorists as well. What should the government, should the armed forces do primarily to ensure that this does not escalate, does not turn into another conflict like we've seen in the Kashmir Valley? Because this is as much about trying to target the restive Jammu region as it is about the G20 meetings that are taking place. So you think, sir, this is not just a coincidence that the G20 meetings are on. This is a deliberate messaging by the terrorists to ensure that they strike at this time so that peace cannot return. So what would you advise, sir, to the government, to the armed forces to ensure this situation does not escalate?
Pooja, firstly, we have been battling insurgency, terrorism since last 3 decades in entire J&K. So our government of India and the security forces, the Indian Army is always alert, and they are doing their job, I would say, extremely well. And each year, each incident gives us some lesson. Nevertheless, since you have asked this question, I personally feel that firstly we have to analyze what kind of terrain we are operating upon. The terrain south of Pir Panjal is extremely dense foliage. You know, I have myself commanded my battalion there in Rajouri Poonch area.
Yes, sir.
And I recollect, you know, I had once doing my training in the hinterland, and I deployed my entire battalion literally every 5 meters. And I challenged that if you can stop me. And somehow I managed to, you know, get through these so-called defenses which we had just planned as an exercise. So what I'm trying to say is that a dense foliage, the weather and night conditions sometimes the healthy terrain. Though our counter-infiltration grid has been deployed, but a unit which is deployed there for almost 2 years, you know, sometimes it is very natural. Anyone who is deployed in an area for more than 2 years, he gets quite accustomed, same routine, same pattern, and therefore the terrain and the monotony of a routine sometimes does affect the performance of the people on ground. There is no doubt. However, a lot of things have been added on. We have so-called UAVs, and we have every surveillance activity going on. So this is giving us more advantage. Coordination with the intelligence agencies. See, firstly, we have to detect what is the likely terrorist infiltration route and what is the plan. So intelligence is something which is top priority. If there is
Correct.
good intelligence, half of these things will be taken care of. Like Pooja, if you analyze this case, this site has been well chosen by the terrorists. They have done detailed rehearsal. It is not a opportunity ambush; it's a deliberate ambush which has been planned. So therefore, they were aware about the routine. They have selected an site where they had the maximum advantage of melting away quickly in the dense vegetation, the jungles, and also it is a road bend. In the road bend, obviously, a speed of the vehicle declines further. It is at a very less speed. So firing on such area, especially on a road bend, when the vehicle is at slow speed, is much easy. So therefore, intelligence is extremely important, and we need to focus on that. And large number of agencies are working. You know, the Indian Army is working,
Of
the
course.
RAW, the IP, and so many agencies, the local police. So coordination of agencies. What happens is we always send intelligence vertically up, but sometimes, you know, literal sharing of information is what lacks. Someone may know, and minutest intelligence, minute information, anything which are local gifts, is something which we should act upon, share, and no intelligence should be treated as very lightly. We have been given to understand that the agencies had forewarned if some kind of an activity is likely. Unfortunately, we are not aware when, how, and what day they will do
True.
the strike. So that is what we have to focus on, coordinated intelligence activity. And of course, senior officers have a very vital role. They have to keep stressing. Jawan, what I told you, his cycles, you know, same monotonous routine, he actually sometimes takes it for granted. So all
Yes.
officers, we have to be more firm and keep reiterating it to our jawans, to our troops, that the enemy is capable of doing anything at any time. Therefore, we have to be on alert, and that is one of the ways that, you know, when the top-down approach is there, the troops take it more serious, and it is there. Top-down approach is there. I am not saying that it is not there, but continuous reiteration in different modes, in
Correct.
different
Absolutely, sir.
thing which matters, Pooja.
Major General Sanjay Meston, I appreciate, sir, that you joined us with your perspective and experience this morning in our telecast. It will have to be a collective responsibility of a political will of armed forces, of course, that have been on the job, but importantly, people on the ground will have to send across a message that they do not want Rajouri Poonch sectors to be turning into how the Kashmir Valley has been facing that conflict, and that messaging will also be very important to not stand with the terrorists. Thank you so much. I appreciate our guest for joining us this morning.